Macron has warned that Europe may need to harden its collective position against Israel if it fails to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Let's again listen in to what he had to say.
Et donc la création d'un État palestinien consécutive à la libération des otages, à la démilitarisation du Hamas, à la non-participation du Hamas dans celui-ci, à la réforme de l'autorité palestinienne, mais d'un État palestinien qui reconnaîtra Israël, son droit à vivre en sécurité, et la création d'une architecture de sécurité dans toute la région sont le seul aboutissement souhaitable pour la sécurité de tous et le seul qui garantira la paix dans la région. Et donc c'est pas simplement un devoir moral, mais une exigence politique et je crois aussi un vrai réalisme.
Well, as mentioned earlier, Macron's comments come as he's on a tour of Southeast Asia. Meanwhile, the White House has said Israel has accepted a new US-backed ceasefire proposal for Gaza. The plan was put forward by President Donald Trump and his Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. According to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Israel signed off on the proposal before it was submitted to Hamas. Let's take a listen.
Special Envoy Witkoff and the President submitted a ceasefire proposal to Hamas that Israel backed and supported. Israel signed off on this proposal before it was sent to Hamas. I can also confirm that those discussions are continuing, and we hope that a ceasefire in Gaza will take place so we can return all of the hostages home, and that's been a priority from this administration from the beginning. I won't comment further as we are in the midst.
However, reportedly, Hamas has said that the group will reject the proposal as the latest terms fall short of its demands, including an end to the war, troop withdrawal and unrestricted aid access. The plan proposes a 60-day truce with a two-phase exchange of hostages and prisoners. According to Reuters, this would include the release of 125 Palestinians sentenced to life and 1,111 others detained after October the 7th, 2023. The agreement also includes the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza beginning immediately once Hamas signs the deal, and a halt to Israeli military operations with the start of the ceasefire. We stay in the region, and the United Nations has warned that Israel's decision to approve 22 new settlements in the West Bank pushes efforts towards a two-state solution in the wrong direction. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric reiterated calls for Israel to halt all settlement activity, describing it as a major obstacle to peace and development. The settlements were announced by hardline Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, despite warnings from allies threatening targeted sanctions. He said that the settlements will be located in the north of the territory. Britain, France and Canada have called the plan a direct threat to the viability of a future Palestinian state. We stay once again in the Middle East. Israel has said that it has intercepted a missile fired from Yemen after air raid sirens sounded across central Israel and explosions were heard over Jerusalem. The army confirmed the missile was shot down before reaching its target. Well, Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility. Let's take a listen in.
نفذت القوة الصاروخية في القوات المسلحة اليمنية عملية عسكرية استهدفت مطار اللد المسمى إسرائيليا مطار بن غوريون في منطقة يافا المحتلة، وذلك بصاروخ باليستي فرط صوتي، وقد حققت العملية هدفها بنجاح بفضل الله، وأجبرت ملايين الصهاينة المحتلين على الهروب إلى الملاجئ ووقف حركة الملاحة في المطار.
In a series of attacks launched by the Houthis since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. The Houthis have repeatedly targeted Israel over the war and for what they say is in solidarity with Palestinians living in Gaza. We head now to North America, and a federal appeals court has temporarily reinstated the most sweeping of President Donald Trump's tariffs just a day after a trade court ruled that Trump had exceeded his authority in imposing the duties and ordered an immediate block on them. President Trump lashed out at the Court of International Trade's ruling, calling it horrible. The White House slammed the court ruling and expressed confidence that it will prevail in an appeal. The appeals court ruling preserves Trump's sweeping import duties on China and other key trading partners for now. Trump's trade advisor, Pete Navarro, spoke to reporters after the president won temporary reprieve. Let's have a listen in to Navarro's comments.
Look, the tariffs remain in place. The court told us, they didn't all but tell us, they told us, go do it another way. So you can assume that even if we lose, we will do it another way. And I can assure the American people that the Trump tariff agenda is alive, well, healthy, and will be implemented to protect you, to save your jobs and your factories, and to stop shipping foreign wealth, our wealth into foreign hands.
Meanwhile, on Fox News Channel's special report, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent commented on how America's trading partners continue to negotiate in good faith despite the court's rulings. Let's have a listen.
You know, we have not seen any of that in terms of our trading partners. They are coming to us in good faith and trying to complete the deals before the 90-day pause ends. So we've seen no change in their attitude in the past 48 hours.
And lastly, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said 3 trade deals are nearly complete and that more agreements are expected. Moving on, in a new development in the US-China trade war, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has acknowledged that talks with Beijing are a bit stalled, but expressed optimism that top-level diplomacy could break the deadlock. In an interview with Fox News, Bessent said more meetings with Chinese officials are expected in the coming weeks. He also suggested that a phone call between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping could help jumpstart the progress. His remarks follow a recent 90-day truce between the US and China reached after talks in Geneva. Under the May 12th deal, Washington dropped tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to just 30%, while Beijing lowered duties on US products from 125% down to 10%. Given the scale and complexity of the trade talks, Bessent emphasised that due to the complex nature of these talks, a breakthrough may require direct action from President Trump and President Xi. He pointed to their strong relationship and believes China will respond once Trump clarifies his stance. We stay in North America. A federal judge in Boston has extended an order blocking the Trump administration from stripping Harvard University's ability to enroll international students. The move comes amid escalating tensions between the White House and the prestigious Ivy League school. Judge Alison Burroughs said a preliminary injunction is necessary while legal proceedings continue. The case unfolded as Harvard celebrated commencement, with its president praising graduates from across the world. The administration has launched multiple actions against Harvard, including freezing billions of dollars in funding, investigating discrimination claims, and threatening to end its tax-exempt status. The Department of Homeland Security has accused Harvard of ties to violence, anti-Semitism, and Chinese influence, claims the university denies. Nearly 60% of students at Harvard's Kennedy School come from abroad. Meanwhile, Washington is also moving to revoke visas for Chinese students in key fields, sparking fears of a brain drain. Harvard calls the actions a direct attack on academic freedom.